welcome to this Times Now special, and today we bring to you an episode of something that's very important. It's something that concerns you, me and most of us around the world. Well, today we're talking about obesity and how this is one such disease that's now in fact featured in a Lancet survey which talks about how obesity kills, and it kills to an extent that is scary. We're now looking at a situation where the prediction is that by 2050, 2 of every 3 adults are possibly going to be either suffering from obesity or overweight. It's also imperative to mention that no country till date has been able to weed out successfully the problem of obesity. Well, today we decided to give things a little spin differently, and we are going on a fitness journey of one of India's most popular athletes, Ashwini Nachappa. Hello, ma'am. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolute pleasure.
And we hope that, we're able to at least accomplish, maybe convincing a few people to start their fitness journey today.
I'm sure this effort is not going to be wasted.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. I want to start by asking you, fitness, of course, has been a very, very important part of your life, obviously, as an athlete, as a sports person. But if you're to take that message of fitness, to several probably today who don't know how crucial or how damaging or how harming obesity can be as a disease, what would you like to say?
I think, obesity should be curtailed right at the beginning when the child is young. And I think that is very important. So the role of parents, the role of schools and institutions becomes very vital in this. I think sports being integrated into the education curriculum is absolutely necessary, where today most kids don't want to be out in the sun or do physical activity.
Absolutely.
And I think it becomes very, very important that we consciously make this effort, the entire community, not just as parents, but as institutions, as well as, parents who come out and do it as a family, kind of activity that encourages physical well-being. And I think that's very important.
Okay. Ma'am, obviously, now this Lancet survey that's just come out has raised a lot of concerns about where we're headed as a global community as far as obesity is concerned. By 2050, the survey says that nearly at least 2 out of every 3 adults are going to be suffering from some disease related to obesity. How concerning is this really?
Like any other disease, it's absolutely concerning because obesity leads to many other diseases. And I think if we as a nation want to be healthy, we need to curtail it, or rather arrest it immediately. So therefore, the responsibility for all of us as stakeholders in this effort is very necessary. So eating healthy, exercising, making time, for whether it's meditation, whether it is getting away from gadgets and just taking some time out, just doing breathing, doing some kind of physical activity for the mental well-being, because I think that is very crucial. The mental well-being with obesity combined is a disaster.
Absolutely. We live in a very fast-paced world today. It wouldn't be wrong to say that I don't have time is the most common excuse that most of us give ourselves. While many of us, of course, have consciously put in efforts to stay into fitness, you, even after retiring, of course, you've maintained yourself, you've ensured that fitness is still very key. How would you respond to that? For sports personalities, at least, time is of essence, right?
I think physical well-being must be a way of life. And if you consider that a way of life, then you will integrate it into your routine and your daily habits. If you don't inculcate those habits, then it becomes very difficult. For me as a sportsman, there are many other sports persons who don't necessarily, go through after retirement fitness. But I think for me as an individual and for my family members, I think it's very important. My mother is 84, but she walks in this around 2 kilometers every morning. And that's her routine that sets her started. For me, it's, an hour and a half of whether it is gym, whether it is golf, whether it is yoga. I ensure that every day is spent spent in the morning with either of those activities. And of course, when I'm in school and in my academy, we have 800 odd kids. We have about 400 kids on the ground every morning.
Oh, that must be a very overwhelming experience,
football,
right?
one is, basketball, but some physical activity. And thankfully in our school, we don't give them phones.
Yeah.
So every morning the routine is set, 6:30, everybody's on the field, an hour of training, fitness, whether it's yoga or whatever they choose to do, and then you start your day. So I think that way a healthy life is very important, and to create those habits, those good habits that ensure, along with good eating.
Yeah.
I think, today's, as you said, is not only a competitive environment, but also they say that we don't have time.
Yeah.
Working parents, don't know. So
even young adults for that matter, the survey specifically points at people above the age of 25, suggesting that, they are the ones who are, of course, going to be most prone. And it also says that, like you rightly pointed out as well, obesity starts at a very young age, and it's more prone in people who've had it as children.
Absolutely.
One question, if I can ask you on this front, in India, of course, whether it's ghee, dalda, butter.
Ghee is very, very good for health.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So there is this
Dalda.
misnomer to
Yeah.
some extent that, Indian food is very fatty or very greasy, and that to a large extent, people have often pointed out in the past that as parents, that they often focus on, just making sure that their kids are eating well and are healthy. How would you look at this? Do you feel somewhere that myths need to be busted?
The food industry is huge.
Yes.
Okay, so if you look at, children are looking at apps, what kind of diet to have. There are multiple diets, and then one doesn't fit all, right?
Yeah.
So it's just that way. I mean, our parents have grown up eating, they had cows in the house, they had hens and chickens,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
everything was there. Of course, today you get adulterated stuff. So I think in our home for the last probably 10 years, we take out our own oil, whether it's groundnut or coconut. So we don't
lovely.
buy out oil from outside.
Right.
So it's because you really don't know. But I think ghee is a very, very good product to have. Good ghee, you can make it out of cream. You buy milk, and when you boil milk, you get cream. So I think these things we've forgotten to do, but we should start doing it.
Okay.
And then to have our own small gardens at home that we can use our herbs, eat healthy food. I think fruits and vegetables in every child's diet is important.
Right.
It's not just a protein diet or a carb diet. I think it's a blend of everything. Today, everybody's carried away with so many kind of diets.
Absolutely, ma'am. Whether it's intermittent fasting or several other forms of, keto diet, and there's a host of, gyan, if we could call it that you...
Exercising, eating healthy, eating moderatory, whatever we have been used to eating. We are trying to ape the West and, we've been eating. So it is specific to our region. If the southern India belt is used to eating rice, there's no harm in eating rice. But eat
Right.
in moderation.
Yeah.
Eat in moderation. No, eat small diets if you want. But I eat 2 meals a day. I have a late breakfast.
Is that how it's always been?
No, it's as you're growing old,
Okay.
the metabolism doesn't really and I don't really feel the need to eat 3 meals. So you rather have it with a fruit or just juice or something like that. So I have an early dinner, unless you're going out, of course, but those are exceptions that you make. And I think each one needs to adapt, see how it works with different ways of your own setting and your own workload, and then adapt to that. And I think if, above everything, you have to have the will to take it forward.
That's true. That's true. That's true. All right, ma'am, you mentioned exercise. If you don't mind, since we're running a campaign and we're hoping that people take inspiration at least, from the greats like you, would it be okay if we do a couple of stretches or a little bit of exercise,
I have a small kid in the park.
Oh, absolutely. Please.
Come on, darling.
Hello. Hi. Why don't you join us for a little fitness session, please?
Yeah, I think that is what is important for parents, to give it a little push for the younger kids to, just come forward. And
that's something that's so crucial, right? Because we look at, at least, look, say my generation, I know that, my parents probably did push me to sports to a huge extent. Probably it takes a lot of, cutting out time for this as well and keeping that focus. Most parents working today. Hi.
let's
Hello. Hi. What's your name?
Say hello.
What's your name? Rishi, would you like to take a small jog with us today? We're trying to tell people why it's important to stay
how fit
fit.
you are, right? You like to be fat or thin? Thin. See? That's the count. So let's jog one run. You want to run?
Okay, all right then. Let's run. Let's run with you. Come on.
But we have to warm up first before we actually run, right?
How important is that? You know, again, given the time crunch, many a time when we're say doing sports or something, people just often skip the stretching. They skip the basic warm up. As a sports person, if you could tell us the key essence of a warm up, isn't that very, very crucial for any?
Get Rishi to do one exercise. If you jog, what exercise would you do? The first few exercises. Yeah? So you loosen up your body. Come on. You loosen up your body. Right? And then here. Come on. Yeah? Yeah. Let's get you coordinated. Yeah?
Well, viewers, we hope that there is, of course, some motivation at least that you all are drawing from this.
Yeah. Okay. So once you've done a loosening up, what do you do? A few stretches. So breathe in. Stretch up. On to the right. On to the left. And then push your hip back. And touch your feet. You feel the stretch? Where do you feel the stretch? Over here. Yeah. So that's your stretch. And then you can do from head to toe. Right? All right, Neha?
Yes.
Are you keeping pace with Rishi?
Absolutely.
Okay, come on. Head up to the chin. Neck to the side. And then a rotation. The other side. Okay, now since your shoulder is back, let's do a little bit of a shoulder. So you breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Yeah. Okay, now we'll do a hip movement. A nice big circle. Right? Okay. Now we'll do for the legs a little bit. Let's shake it up.
This just basic warm-ups and exercises like
and
this
this
is
can be
something
done
people
at
can
home.
cut out half an hour for,
At
right?
home.
Every day.
Yeah. So let's stretch. Come here. Come here. You're going to face me. Come on. Come on, children, join. Oh, we have two more.
Oh,
remove your sandals and come. Come on, we can do some stretch. Okay? Breathe in. Who's a gymnast here?
Oh, wow.
All right.
And what are your names?
Anya, Arya.
Anya and Arya.
Okay, so you're going to be really flexible, okay? Okay, let's do a few
Do
stretches.
you alternate to touch?
Yes, so look up to the sky, hold, keep your legs absolutely straight. One more time. One more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now what do we do? Twist. And then put your forehead to the knee. Don't bend your knee.
Try and breathe out.
Try and breathe out.
Breathe out. Absolutely.
Breathe out. Absolutely. Look at that.
Very good, Rishi.
Very good, Rishi. Keep your knee straight. Try and keep it straight.
On to the other side.
On to the other side. Wonderful.
Let's loosen.
All right. Let's loosen up. Do you do a loosening up?
Yes.
Ma'am, realistically, do you not feel these are some basic stretches, exercises with probably coupled with a little bit of jogging or running that, people should be able to take out at least an hour for in a day? It doesn't seem
Do you
that
think
difficult.
it's important?
Yes.
If
How
they say,
important do you think it is
Come here,
today
Rishi.
to stay fit? Okay.
really important.
And how do you feel if you don't do your gymnastics for say maybe 1 or 2 days? Does it make you feel stiff, and do you miss it when you don't do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, of course, our Prime Minister also has recently brought this up. He's raised, or rather flagged, a lot of concerns, about obesity. at large. We've seen cities like New York that have banned trans fat. We've also seen that in a couple of other countries, efforts have been put in by the administration. But at the end of the day, do you somewhere feel that it really boils down to a person, to a personal choice about...
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, you can do all those things. It'll arrest the problem to a very small degree. But if we take that responsibility and the onus is on us as individuals to create an entire, environment of health and well-being within our family, it starts from there.
Yeah.
Right? So when you pack snacks for the kids to school, you pack healthy snacks. It's easy to just give them chips
Fried
and just a
food,
fried food or whatever,
yeah, the
and
junk, the fast food.
it's easier to do it.
Yeah.
But I think
The
a little,
ready-to-eat stuff?
yeah.
Isn't that like our biggest killer today? Would you call it that, of cholesterol probably, and just the amount of preservatives that they put into it?
Yes. Do you all have healthy food or you all have junk food? You? Healthy food.
Okay.
See, everybody is into healthy food.
Well, of course, we hope that all of you, of course, who are getting a glimpse into this little exclusive here with an absolute stellar of an athlete are able to at least take back a little in terms of whether it's healthy eating, whether, of course, it's actually being able to work out like this, stretch up, of course. Stay tuned. We're going to continue this in the later half as, of course, we continue to find out. Session with you, is probably something that's, I don't even know how to put it. It was so nice. Like on the inside, you feel so much fitter, you feel so much better. And it's obviously got so much to do with the fact that, you're a sports personality. Look at those little children as well, gymnasts at this age. That brings us back to, the talk of how, again, parents probably need to sort of reinforce that in children. Would you agree? As a sports personality, of course, I'm sure
I
you
think
bring
it is
to your
absolutely
kids, but...
necessary.
Yeah.
It's absolutely necessary. Nothing happens when there's no encouragement from home. And I think as parents, we need to take that onus on us so that the entire family is fit. And I think once we take that onus, saying we are responsible for our family, we are responsible for our own health first, and start that as a way of life. I think that's very, very important.
Talking about, again, this is, thank you so much. Well, of course, here's a healthy snack again. This is something that's so key. Just merely, working out or playing a sport or just having fitness obviously isn't enough. It's also important, that the diet is something that gets inculcated. I have to ask you again, how do you ensure in your meals that you keep it balanced, you keep it fit? Many people say that, it's simple to just eat what your ancestors have eaten and you'll be okay. There are many others who subscribe to certain diets. And for most working people, most of their meals are often out. A lot of fast food that they bring into their meals. How do you feel this contributes to obesity? It's a big, big task.
Yeah, for all those working, professionals, I've also worked. But I've been very blessed to have a home where my mom was always there and we had people who would, but I always ensured that we had food from home.
Yeah.
Okay, you can have cheat days, you can have whatever, but I think as a practice, having home food at regular intervals, whatever has been your practice, but just insist on getting children and everybody hydrated. I think hydration is important. We forget to drink water, the amount of water that is required. It's easy to drink a Coke rather than a glass of water.
Or a coffee also.
Or a
for
coffee
most working
also,
people,
yeah. And that when you're sitting and having too much of coffee, then you're having acidity and you're skipping your meals. So I think these are things which are a known fact for everybody. So if we practice it as adults, and I think it reflects on the family also. So even for working professionals, they say we don't have time to have healthy meals or whatever. I think it all requires planning. On your week off days, you plan from Monday to Friday and say, at least I pack my boxes of Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, of just salads or just fruits, something to, have which is healthy besides whatever you eat in your canteen or in your, workplace. So I think those small changes, if we can make, not even, giving up totally anything,
but in moderation.
In moderation, like sugars, excess of sugars, excess of aerated drinks, excess of coffee. Anything in excess is bound to have implication on your health.
I think there's one commonality between, journalism and sports is that they're both high pressure. They're both extremely time consuming, and you've got to be passionate for both.
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier, you're often out, you just eat whatever you get. That perpetually becomes a problem for us also. We're permanently on field. We don't always get the opportunity to pack a box or say have it when we're out on the field. We don't always get the privilege to sit in our office and enjoy a full meal. For times like those, what would, you say maybe recommend a snack? Or a lot of people carry protein bars, but that again boils down to, the preservatives.
I think, as I said, a salad or a fruit is good. Banana is very, very good. So if you can have a banana and an apple a day, as the old sayings goes, it's good enough.
Okay.
You don't have to have a very heavy diet of parathas and this. But if you don't have the time, at least carry. It's easy to carry a fruit.
It's simple.
And today you have fruits all over. You have vendors all over.
It's
but
the
just
will, like you mentioned earlier.
Will, but ensure that it is hygienic. I think that is important, to keep away from any kind of gut issues because today everybody's talking about gut issues, and I think if you take care of the gut, you're good to go.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us and for hopefully inspiring. Of course, that's what you've done your entire sporting career. You've inspired young girls to, really, of course, turn into athletes. But the bigger picture, of course, with our focus also today on the campaign of anti-obesity. And we're hopeful that you've probably enjoyed watching this as much as we've enjoyed shooting this and putting it up for you. But of course, let's not forget, fitness, eating right and staying healthy is something that's essential for all of us, and there's no excuses, there's no way out of it. From all of us at the Times Now family from Bengaluru, this is Neha Hebale signing off with my video journalists Dilip and Santosh.
This